So this is the first of this little series I'm going to do of games where they haven't been worked on in a while. I'm not quite sure what's going on. You see, it's Project Aego from Flickerburst Studios. They've been pretty quiet for a while, which is kind of concerning because this is kind of the Project C as it was known, with Echo being Project B, Blackgate being Project A from the old HGBH games thing. So this is somewhat of a cursed slot, it seems, because like Adosha also went so far then disappeared off the map as well. So yeah, hopefully something will happen. I do like this game. I'm still actually a patron for it, even though they haven't charged me in a long time. It's going to play through a couple of routes here. What happens is there's a prologue, and then you choose one of two routes, and there are sub-routes from each of those two main characters. You don't start off with one main character. In this game, there'll be a way of choosing, and those two will diverge. So we're going to play both MCs, and also one route from each of those as far as they've been done. As you can just see this. And I have another game hopefully lined up after this. That will be in a couple of weeks, so let's just load a new game here. Trying to double cross us, eh? Your usefulness has just run out. Where's the house now? Damn. That walk never gets any shorter. Still, I can't risk driving. They could follow me here and then the kids would never be safe. Got to allow all the crickets our way out here. Nothing like the city. The city had different kind of noises. As I close the door behind me, I catch a glimpse of two brown blurs flying into the room. Hey boys, you're up late. Didn't expect to see you until the morning. Auntie Trina said we could stay up late just this one time. That would be Tristan, the first of my boys. I've never seen a kid get upset about anything. I really hope he keeps that attitude. I tried to tell him we went to bed early. We'd have more time tomorrow. But as usual, he wouldn't listen. And then there's Cooper. Smart as a whip and so talented at everything he does. A prodigy for sure. Well, it's good to see you both either way. Bring it in. Holding the two of them closely, I realise just how much bigger they've gotten since the last time I was here. It's been almost a year ago by now. I hug them both tightly and swear to myself that this would be the last time I was gone long enough to notice such a difference. Dad, you're choking me. I can't breathe. I let go and he giggles and pretends to catch his breath. I give him a smile and glance over at Cooper. He gives me a cool grin and shrugs, shaking his head as if apologising for his brother. T is such a kid. We promised to show Dad how grown up we are now, so he'll take us with him when he leaves. Tristan gasps and gives him a squinty look. Hey, I just really miss Dad, okay? I promise I'll be more grown up tomorrow. Oh, there's no need to rush anything. Be kids as long as you want. See, Cooper, I knew Dad wanted to come see his kids, not his grown-ups. Cooper rolls his eyes. Almost immediately after his bold statement, Tristan falls into a big yawn. Yawns being as contagious as they are, I glance over to find Cooper rubbing his eyes and yawning as well. Well, it seems like my grown-ups are a bit tired tonight, huh? Where's Katrina? Katrina is a close friend of the family. She's sacrificed so much to keep an eye out on the kids while I work. Like clockwork, she walks in the room, giving me a warm smile and sighing softly. I told them he'd be home late, but even with Cooper's help, I couldn't convince Tristan. She reaches down and rests a paw on both of their heads. Either way, welcome back, Grant. It's good to see you. It is good to be back. It is good to see my boys again. If everything works out, I'll finally be able to be there for them, to take care of them. She walks over and gives me a hug. Somehow even through the hug and kind words, I can tell she is pissed at me. Katrina, I can't thank you enough for being there for them. She just shakes her head and smiles, walking over to usher the boys into the bathroom. All right, boys, it's late enough. Go on and wash up. Cooper nods and does as he's told, but Tristan bounces in front of me again. Dad, I know we've got to go to bed soon. Do you think you could tell us a story first? A story? I look down their eyes. Even Cooper, peeking his head out of the bathroom with a toothbrush in his mouth, seems excited at the thought. Well, maybe a short one so Katrina doesn't get too mad at me, alright? I thought I saw her ears perk. I'm sure I'll hear it later from her. Just go wash up and I'll be there in a sec. Tristan scrambles and moves to catch up with Cooper in the bathroom. Grant, I'll be waiting out here for you when you're done. I barely nod, feeling so ashamed that my ears droop. Alright, I won't be too long. I step into the boys' room and greet them at their beds. They're practically glowing with excitement. Alright, so what do you boys want to hear? I take a seat at the edge of their bed, scratching the back of my head and try not to think about the angry wolf in the other room. Something with a happy ending. Oh, that's kid stuff. I want to hear something different this time. Well, I like these decision screens. It points out this could make a difference. And it does. There was once a little prince. He had everything a boy could ever want. He had all the toys he asked for, all the candy he could eat, never had to do any chores. The boy was good-hearted, but very quickly grew tired of his life of luxury. He was lonely. One afternoon, the little prince snuck out of his mansion into the nearby town. It didn't take long for him to come across a group of boys playing outside in the street. They were kicking an old beaten-up ball around, laughing and having a great time. The prince walked over and called out to them. "Oh, hello," he called out, approaching them with a smile. "Looks like your ball is broken. Could you guys use a new one?" There were 3 kids. One picked up the ball and smirked at the prince. "Sure, kid, what you got?" "I have lots of toys back at home. I could bring you some," the prince said excitedly. The other 2 boys slowly came from behind the leader, looked longingly at the prince, holding up broken toys of their own. The prince smiled wide and told the children he'd be right back. Running back up to his room, he fished brand new versions of their broken toy sailboat and train from his box, began to head outside. His father, the king, stopped him at the door and shook his head. "Oh, son, why are you taking so many toys outside?" The boy beamed as he spoke. "I've made some friends, father. I'm going to play with them." Given a concerned look, his father knelt down. "Son, you can't trust those kids out there. They'll only lie to you and take your things." The prince grunted and turned away. "My friends would never do that." He ran past his father and down to the boys again, lugging the toys along his side. He ran to the area he'd last met the boys. There was no one there. He called out a few times and looked around. There was no trace. Sighing softly, he started to turn back towards his home, when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in the back of his head. He fell forward, landing in the dirt and dropping the toys all around him. He picked himself off the dirt and sighed, then quickly turned, seeing one of the boys darting around the corner with one of the toys. He trudged back home and looked away at his concerned father who met him at the door. Escaping into his room, he slumped on the bed and did everything he could to hold back the tears. The knock of his bedroom door startled him out of his zombie-like state, and he found his dad waiting for him as he answered it. He spoke cautiously yet warmly. "Well, it looks like someone's here to see you, son." He stepped outside to reveal the 2 younger boys from before, holding each of his missing toys. They held them out and spoke. "Oh, sorry that Eli did that. We stopped him and got your toys back, though." They looked down at their feet as they finished talking, obviously ashamed. "But you maybe want to play with us sometime?" The kid holding the sailboat asked slowly, still keeping his gaze on the ground. The prince blinked and thought about his father's earlier words. Do I give them another chance? Will they just take more from me? With conviction, he smiled and stepped towards the boys. "All right, come on in." The boys were surprised, looked at each other for a moment, then laughed and ran into the room. The prince's father looked at them a moment, nodded at his son and let them play. The boys grew closer for years and years, and eventually they became the prince's trusted friends and advisors. With his friends, the prince grew into a good and just king, leading his realm into a time of peace and happiness. The end. I look over at the boys who were cuddled up against each other under the blankets. Cooper was out like a light, but Tristan was still awake and gave me a smile and a yawn. "Thanks, Dad. Next time, can you tell the weather Coops wants, okay?" "Sure, T, of course." He grins at me and seems to almost immediately fall asleep. Slowly and quietly, I raise myself from their bed and move out of the boys' room, shutting the door behind me. I step back into the living area and meet the angry wolf that managed to hold a smile until the boys went to sleep. She almost speaks to me in a manner that's quiet enough not to wake the boys, but loud enough to make it a point that she's upset with me. Grant, it's been almost a year since you come home. You're more like a legend to these boys than the father. I sink my head in shame, glancing over the boys' room. I knew it had been a long time, but I just couldn't come earlier. I couldn't. I'd rather them live full lives, not knowing their father, than die before they had a chance to really live. Just a little longer, kids. I know. I wish it could be different. But you know how it is. If anyone found out what they can do, we'd all be dead. There's a tense moment of silence at my harsh words, and I soften my eyes. I'm sorry, Katrina. It's not your fault. I don't mean to make it worse, but I just can't see these kids grow up without their father. Oh, poor dears. They're great, you know. Pretty soon they're going to be smart enough to figure things out on their own. They're going to start asking questions. You won't be able to hold them back. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, I just want to enjoy my time with my kids. She nods and stares at the ground a moment. Oh, and here's a clean shirt. Looks like the one you have is stained. I reach out and grab the shirt, taking mine off before glancing over at Katrina as a concerned look on her face. It's nothing. It just was a rough day for I managed to make it here. She glares at the huge gash on my chest that has bled through, staining my shirt. Thank you for the shirt, Katrina. We can talk more tomorrow. All right, Grant. Good night. I step into the familiar room and sink into the bed, falling asleep almost immediately. Just take them and go. No, I'm the only one that can handle them. I'll catch up later, I promise. Just go. That same dream again. Mira. After what felt about 10 minutes of sleep, I wake in a fraction of a second before Tristan falls on top of me. He grins proudly as my eyes open to the now sunlit room. Cooper is standing at the entrance of the room, almost apologising with his eyes. I'm sorry, Dad, you just couldn't wait anymore. You have to come play with us. Come on, T, we've got to let him sleep so he can't just give it excuses when we beat him. I shoot Cooper a glance. He just smirks at me with his arms crossed. Tristan sticks his tongue out at Cooper and then starts jumping up and down on the bed next to me. It being clear that my moment of respite had passed, I get up and head into the living room. I can smell Katrina's cooking from the kitchen. Certainly not something I'm used to smelling in the morning. Grant, you're just in time. Go wash up and have a seat. I know better than disobey, so I wash my face and hands in the bathroom and then sit down at the table as instructed. The boy follows shortly after me, clearly already knowing the drill. Katrina brings out each of us plates one by one, perfectly seasoned and cooked trout on top of each. The smell is so good that I feel myself start to drool a little. I have to add Katrina's cooking to my list of reasons to come back sooner. But when I come back, she'll... Well, what are you waiting for? Dig in. She doesn't have to tell me twice. I dig into the meal in front of me, savouring every bite. Katrina's cooking really is stupendous. It's all over too fast, though. As I stare at the empty plate before me, I think back and wish I had saved just one last bite. I glance over and the boys seem to be in a similar predicament, sadly gazing at their empty plates. Katrina sits solemnly, cutting a small piece off her fish and eating it delicately. I sigh and gaze at her plate a bit before snapping out of my hypnosis. Well, this is the best meal I've ever had. Katrina doesn't even flinch. You said the same thing last time. I know I don't have any more. You'll have to wait until later. She knew exactly where I was going with that. What a frightening woman. But Dad, I read the best fish you can get are in Blue Haven. Is this really the best? Katrina shoots him a glare. I'm a bit surprised he doesn't turn to stone. Well, maybe so, Coop, but no one cooks like your aunt. She sips her coffee and seems pleased at the comment. I'll protect you, son. Yeah, her cooking really is the best. You're a fast learner, T. Katrina clears her throat. You boys don't have to wait on me. Go on outside and enjoy yourselves. Dad, time for hide and seek. We've been practicing. We'll definitely win this time. Is that so? Well, show me what you got. We rinse off our plates and head outside. Stepping out of the warm sun, I can't help but yawn and stretch. It's beautiful out. Clear skies and a nice breeze. I take a moment to enjoy it before the boys tug me away. Dad, you have to be it first, okay? He looks over at Tristan, who catches his glance and nods at me. Yep, that's right, you definitely won't win. What are they up to? Alright, boys, I'll count and you go hide. Don't cheat now. It takes forever if you count all the way to 100. I put my face up against the tree, close my eyes and start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take my time and count all the way to 100, then turn around and glance in every direction. There's no trace of them. Taking a few steps forward, I see a tiny nose poking around the corner of the house. Gotcha. Bounding forward, I sprint towards the house. Tristan's head peeks around the corner, his eyes widen as he sees me approaching. For a moment, I catch a glimpse of a blue flash around him. So he's going to use that, huh? Tristan bolts from around the house in the direction of the tree, easily tearing past me, and in what seems an instant is standing at home base. I pant a bit and shake my head at the boys, both of whom have now reached home base. Well, looks like you boys have gotten a lot better at controlling it, huh? You see, my boys have this ability. They can kind of challenge each other's physical capabilities. One of them can be twice as fast, twice as strong. No matter how many times I see it, it's still amazing. That's why they have to stay here. If anyone ever found out, who knows what might happen to them. I take a moment and catch my breath, walking idly back to the tree. So that was your plan, huh? I knew you two were up to something. See, I told you we'd win. Tristan just smiles and bounces around. Ah, but when you're this close together... I leap, diving into both of them and pulling them in close. You can't escape. We wrestle on the ground a bit, eventually calling a truce and sitting. It was true. For some reason, if they are too close to one another, their ability doesn't work. Not to mention, when one of them uses it, the other is drained of their own capabilities. You two just be careful with that now. You know what happened before. Both the boys flatten their ears. That was a long time ago. We're better at it now. Yeah, and I'm just fine. Full recovery. That's what the doctor said. I smile and hug them close for a moment. Katrina was right. They're so strong. It's starting to get dark, so I tell the boys to head in and tell them to tell Katrina I will be back later tonight. Just have something I have to do. No more questions, okay? They pout a bit, but eventually make their way into the house, sulking. It's a coward's way out. I know there's no other way I'm getting this done. I sneak back into the foliage. I can make it to the drop point in an hour or so on foot. Wish I were closer, but I can't risk it being any closer to the boys. The trek is quiet aside from those damn crickets. Finally, I find the hollow stump and reach inside to find a familiar-looking package. As I've done so many times before, I tear off the seal of the package in one quick motion. In it is a sheet of paper and my payment. My final payment. 100,000. Stuffing the cash back in, I quickly head back in the direction of the house. The night gets darker and darker as I take the trek once again. With a short sigh, I open the door and step inside. I know exactly what is waiting for me on the other side. Katrina has the eyes of a demon on her, and she isn't taking no for an answer when I try to avoid the conversation. Should I even ask what you're doing out so late? You know I can't tell you. She shifts her eyes a bit to the side. I'm not sure, but I think I catch a glimpse of tears before she looks away. Is this really going to be the last time? It seems like it. I hope you mean it this time. There are plenty of other ways to earn money, you know. You don't have to work for those people. If only it were that easy. Katrina. I place a paw on her shoulder, comforting her. You come around to see these boys once or twice a year. You don't see what they're like when you leave. If you saw it, you'd never leave again. It never stops stinging, no matter how many times I hear it. Even this visit is a risk. If anyone found out where I am, it'd be over. For everyone. I promise I'm going to make it up to them. I'm going to make it up to you, too. I just can't help but think if Mara knew this is how it'd end up, she wouldn't have... Please, don't. I still hear the screams in my head, the last time I heard her voice. I'm doing what I've got to do to protect my family. She looks at me and nods, seeming to regain her composure. How much longer before you have to go? Soon. I'm going to take a different path back. It'll take a bit longer, but it's safer. Oh? Yeah, if I just follow the river west, it'll take me a night to get there. Well, just be careful. I wouldn't know what to tell the boys if something happened to you. Just keep them safe. As I finish my sentence, I hand her the envelope with the cash. 100,000. Make sure to put it with the rest, okay? All right, Grant, I'll make sure they get it. I nod and smile. Thank you, Katrina. She yawns and waves me off into the room. Just don't leave without telling those boys goodbye. I'll never forgive you if you sneak off again. Of course. I thought I heard her sigh softly as she walked up the stairs. All right. One more night in this comfy bed. You can't tell them about Aego. They wouldn't understand. It would destroy him. Trust me, it's just better this way. Like clockwork, the boys wake me up at the crack of dawn once again. Tristan urging me with excitement and Cooper employing his own smooth tactics as well. Time for my final day here. Breakfast this morning is every bit as good as yesterday's. The boys finish quickly and head outside, giving me a few minutes alone with Katrina. I'm happy to see you still here. Figured you'd have snuck off during the night. Well, not this time. I promised you, didn't I? It's good to see you keeping them for a change. Ouch. I'm turning over a new leaf, Trina. You'll see. I hope so, Grant. For the boys. We nod at each other as I step outside to meet them. Today's game is cops and robbers. They make me choose myself which side to be on. You have to be a cop, Dad. Be my partner. Let's destroy all of crime. He says the last bit so it sounds like the beginning of a crime drama on TV. But Dad, if we work to get the robbers, we can make a thrilling case for T to solve, and then we'll both be happy. He has a good point. Cooper seems like he'd do better on his own, so I decide to partner up with Tristan. All right then, and don't worry, I won't make it too tough for you. Oh, T, no linking up. That's cheating. Dad will have to arrest you. Oh, of course not. I wasn't even thinking about that. So that's what they're calling it now? Their ability? Got a nice ring to it. Okay, so you two just give me 10 minutes, okay? He runs off into the house, grinning. Thanks for being my partner, Daddy. We're going to make a great team. I chat with Tristan for a while before we hear a shriek from inside the house. Was that Aunt Trina? I shoot him a concerned look, so we run off into the house. Katrina is standing in the centre of the doorway as we enter, a concerned look on her face. This man came into the house and he stole my cherished locket. I wear it all the time and it's so important to me. Tristan's eyes light up so much I can practically see the fire in them. Our first witness, Daddy. You're absolutely right. We'll have to get a statement. Tristan walks up with a serious look on his face. He clears his throat and forces his voice to sound more like an adult. Mum, I'm so sorry this happened to you. What do you remember about the perpetrator? Sounds like T's been watching a lot of crime shows. Katrina plays along like a pro. Well, he was shorter, I'd say about your height, sir. And he sounded really young. She pretended to sob, covering her face with a petite pause. Good show, Trina. Tristan pats the small of her back softly and grins. Cheer up, Mum. We'll have your locket back in no time flat. She wipes her face and smiles. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. The enthusiasm almost seems real. T looks at me with determination. We have to find this poor woman's treasure. She looks genuinely concerned. This seems like a familiar scenario. Wrong voice. She seems genuinely concerned. This seems like a familiar scenario for these two. Tristan nods and takes my paw, heading into the living room. Let's look at the crime scene. Tristan walks around carefully, glancing at each of the objects in the living room one by one. I look around and notice a pair of sandals at the base of the stairs. All of a sudden, Tristan smacks his hand and walks over to me confidently. Assistant, have you figured it out yet? Who is the thief? Well, I thought I was supposed to be his partner. Guess I ended up as assistant. Cooper. He blurts out before I have even a chance to say my answer. That's right, it was Cooper all along. And tell me, where is the thief hiding? I haven't played this section in a while. I'm trying to remember. Let's see, sneaky enough to put everything outside. Again he shouts out before I can speak. Right again, my dear Daddy. The thief is sitting in this very house, upstairs. Okay, it doesn't matter. But how did you figure it out, sir? You look so excited I have to play along. It's easy. Katrina would kill us if we took our sandals upstairs. Even a master thief knows that. I snap my fingers and strike a pose. Such great work, detective. We rush up the base of the stairs and point our fingers like guns at the door. Come out with your hands up, the jig is up, thief. A muffled voice comes from the other side of the door. All right, you got me. Sandals gave it away, huh? Tristan giggles and hugs his brother as he comes out of the room. You got it, you thought I'd forgotten, huh? Cooper grins slyly. Well, you always forget to take your sandals off when Katrina yells, so I didn't think about it. Blushing brightly, Tristan looks down. His sandals have remained on, and so have mine. We look at each other wide-eyed as we hear a terrifying sound of someone coming up the steps behind us. Cooper whistles innocently and walks down past the impending doom moving in our direction. Looks like we reached the end of the line, partner. I guess now I'm his partner again. We both swallow hard and step out to accept our fate. The rest of the day passes by all too quickly as the boys and I chat and play in the yard. There's still a bit of daylight left. Come on, boys, there's a really great spot to see the sunset. I walk the boys about half a mile out. We find the spot and settle in the grass. Look over that way, boys. I point up at the sky and it's a beautiful sunset. The clouds are making all sorts of formations and shapes. Look, that one looks like a fish. You sound so excited. I guess it is almost dinner time. That one's kind of like a tree, if you turn it sideways, huh? Truthfully, I don't see either of them, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying the moment. Say, boys, what do you want to be when you grow up? I realize the question seems rather cliche, but I've actually never found the time to ask them before. Tristan chimes in first. I want to be a superhero. Wear a cool costume and go around the city helping people in need. I promise, Cooper, I'll only use my superpowers if I absolutely have to. Cooper groans and shakes his head. That's kid stuff. Superheroes aren't real. I want to be a detective. Now they're the real ones to help people, solving mysteries and making sure the bad guys are put away in prison. So both of them want to help people. I can't help but smile and wrap an arm around each of them, pulling them in close. We share the embrace for a bit before the boys pull away. Dad, what exactly is your job? Do you help people? Tristan perks his ears, expecting an answer as well. Yes, and I help people. All the wrong people. See, Coop, I knew it. Cooper seems satisfied and goes back to stare at the sky. Just promise me, boys, whatever you end up doing, that you stay happy. Tristan laughs. Well, of course, why wouldn't we be happy? He's silent against answering that question. I sigh and pull him in again. And that ability of yours, just make sure you don't tell anyone about it. People will understand. It's better to keep it a secret. The boys nod and we sit in silence for a few minutes until they go back to talking about what shape the clouds are making. After a few more minutes, the sun finally sets and it starts to get dark. Alright, boys, let's go in for the night. We share one last meal together before bedtime finally comes. Boys, I won't be here when you wake up tomorrow. Cooper sighs and looks to the side while Tristan's eyes immediately well up. He starts to sob into his paws. My heart wrenches. This is why I usually leave without telling them. This was what Katrina meant. I'm sorry. I'd stay if I could, I promise you. Remember those people I have to help? Well, they need me to go back and help them. If I don't, something really bad might happen. With a deep sigh, Cooper walks over and pulls his brother into a hug. Dad, we'll be fine. Just come back soon, okay? He puts on a smile, but he's trembling. God damn it, why does it have to be like this? If I had any more tears left to cry, my state would be no better than Tristan's. All I can do is give the boys one last big hug before Tristan runs off into the room crying intensely. Coop, take care of him, alright? He gives me a cool thumbs up. You got it, Dad. He scurries off into their bedroom. He gives a quick glance back as he reaches the door. I'm certain I catch a glimpse of tears in his eyes before it disappears into the bedroom. Katrina sighs and gazes at her side. So, do you see what I mean? But thank you for at least telling them this time. I appreciate it. She rubs a soft paw gently on my shoulder. They won't be waiting too long. I got my final orders, then I'm off the hook. I should be back here in a week. For good this time. Her ears perk a bit, but she doesn't know with her reaction. I hope you mean that. Without any more words, she pulls me into a tight hug and then walks upstairs. Thank you, Trina. Taking one last good look around the house, I gather my stuff and step out into the cool night air. Be nice to get one last rest, but it's too easy to be trapped during the day. Goodbye, boys. I'll see you soon. Hey, T, I think Antrine's asleep now. We're good. Hey, are you sure about this group? I'm scared. It's going to be so bad if we get caught. Everything will be fine. Trust me. I heard Dad say it the other night. Just have to follow the river and we'll make it to the city by morning. Then we can help Dad with his work, right? So we can finish faster and come back. That's it, bro. We should leave a note for Auntie Trina. She'll be so worried. You're right, but what should we say? We have to tell her the truth. But she'll definitely come and get us, then we were to help Dad. Tell the truth. I'll write it. Hand it here. I don't know if I can how you can see so well in the dark. Okay, let's get out here before Aunt Trina wakes up. All right. We fill our packs with a bit of food and water and head out, keeping the river to our right. After what feels like an eternity, we finally make it to the edge of the city. We walk around the town for a while, asking anyone around if they'd seen Dad. So, have you seen our Dad? He looks like this. Luckily, we were able to find a portrait of Dad that's only a few years old that Aunt Trina took when he visited a while back. No, I'm sorry, son, I haven't. Have you spoken to the police? No, not yet. Should we? Oh, I think so, kiddo. Go about 3 blocks that way. You'll find the station. He points off in the direct distance, a warm smile on his face. Thank you, sir. He waves and continues his errands for the day. Should we listen to him? Police will just take us back home. We have to find Dad first. You're right. Let's keep looking. After a little while longer of asking around, we come to a dirtier part of the town where the people are less friendly. Hoop, I don't like it here. I'm scared. That guy said he saw Dad going to a warehouse right up this road. Come on, T, be strong. Still more and we'll find him. I know it. All right, bro. Meanwhile... excuse me, have you seen these children? I'm sorry, I can't say I have. No? Well, please, call this number if you see them. Sir, excuse me, have you seen these kids? Well, actually, they do look familiar. I think I saw them walking over towards the docks. The docks? Damn it, why today? I've got to get over there now. Walking a few more blocks down, we finally arrive at the warehouse. We open the door and freeze. Well, what's going on? Dad, is that you? Dad! My chest feels tight, my body numb. This can't possibly be real. Suddenly, there's a strong arm around us both and we are pulled backwards. Don't even have time to think about what I just saw. Everything goes fuzzy, and for a moment it's hard to say anything. No, my dad's in there. We have to help him. I won't leave him. No, I don't understand. We struggle against the police officer for a moment. It doesn't take long for him to overpower us and pull us away. I wish I could say it was all only just a nightmare. The choices we made led us down the path of the detective. So, if you reverse on those choices I made earlier, you'll take the other path for the other brother. And what I'm going to do is just end this here. I mean, that's a hell of a way to end a prologue in a visual novel. So we'll start picking up the detective routes, and then 1 or 2 episodes of this, then we'll pick up the opposite route, and we'll run those through. Say we can do 1 route of each of those 2, as far as everything goes, and that will be it. You'll see what there is of Project Aego, and I really hope that whatever's been going on the team, they can get back and keep on with this, because it is really interesting. I've played every option there is in this game, and I definitely want to see a lot more of this. It has been quite a long time now, so we will see. But this is the first part of this little series. As they after Aego, they have another VN lined up, and we'll see what happens with all of these. Until then, bye for now.